Pittsburgh still pressuring. They score! It's Sheetikov who put it off the bar and in. And Pittsburgh, moments after the power play, take a 2-0 lead.
I'd say that's a pretty damn good trade from Kyle Dubas. Getting Sheetikov in here, who, if you extrapolate what he's done in Pittsburgh over the course of an 82-game season, you're looking at a 40-goal scorer. And with that release, with the chemistry he has with Gino, you can see why that should factor into the decision to keep Gino around, I think. I mean, Tommy Novak is your second-line center, and that line is highly productive. And with all due respect to a nice player in Tommy Novak, I think those other two guys are the reason why. So keep walking around, if for no other reason than to help the Sheetikov. But that was a big trade made by Kyle Dubas, and perhaps there are more, Mr. Dickerson, on the offing. I am so thrilled that you and I have the opportunity to do a show this week when the Penguins are actually potentially buyers at the NHL's trading deadline. Like, it's been a while. Like, a couple of years ago, it was the Jay Gensel conversation, and that's interesting and that's fun and it's important, but being Penguins fans for most of our lives meant this day was huge.
Going for it.
This week was huge.
Yep.
Now, Shiro would pull off the big deadline deals. Meanwhile, Rutherford would pull them off like a week, a month, couple months in advance, just whenever the wind took a different direction, typically. But I think Dubas is going to be active because here's what Josh Yohe wrote in The Athletic. Quote, for the first time in years, the Penguins might be buyers during trade deadline week. The franchise possesses a bounty of movable assets, plenty of cap space, and a couple of holes in the lineup. Buckle up, he writes.
Nice. Well, I mean, Dubas has, paraphrasing, he's basically said that if there's a player out there that that could possibly, fit what we want to do, we're going to go after him. Doesn't matter the type of player, doesn't matter how much money, we're going to be interested. So, who knows who it could be, who it's going to be, but I expect him to make the appropriate moves that help this team make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm curious what that looks like. Are they going to go make a mega deal?
Right.
Are they going to make some huge hockey trade? Are they going to just tinker here and there and get a sixth defenseman and a depth center? Because, my God, they've been terrible on the draw without Sidney Crosby. They've lost 70% of their faceoffs since Crosby got hurt. And I think that can be overrated, faceoffs. But when you're losing that big an amount, it's going to hurt your possession numbers, clearly. So could they acquire a center that can help win some draws, play a good defensive game, and then goes to the bench whenever Crosby comes back? I think that's something they could look into. I also think they could stand pat. I don't think they're going to sell any assets, though. The one that seems possible is Stuart Skinner. I don't think they're shopping him based on everything I've read, and I listened to 32 Thoughts, the podcast last night with Elliot Friedman. I don't think they're shopping Stuart Skinner, but if a team calls and blows them away, they might do it.
Yeah.
And that's probably the way to handle that. I'd love to see Murashov. He's a phenom. Shilovs has really become their number one goaltender. His last 9 games, he's been outstanding. He was just named the NHL's second star of the week.
Yeah.
So Shilovs is playing really well. I'm not against Stuart Skinner trade, but shopping him when he has been good for you, I don't know how that would affect the dressing room. And that's part of this, too. You talked about this a while back. I think Mackey was here, and we had a nice little debate about this, affecting the chemistry in the room.
Yes.
Affecting the chemistry on the ice.
Yes.
The more I watch this team play, the more I am actually now afraid
to mess anything up,
to screw up the dynamic.
No doubt.
Yeah. Now, that's a conversation at any trade deadline ever. And there have been much better teams the Penguins have had that have upgraded their roster. And in some instances, they've helped. In some instances, they've failed. When they got Jerome McGinley, that was probably a little too much. And Bilesma didn't know how to use him. Played him on the wrong wing. It sucked. Derek Brassard didn't work out. Screwed up the entire dynamic. But we've seen other trades, obviously, that have worked. It's got to be the right move.
It does, but it also, like, I do have confidence in the shifting of the dynamic a little bit if you are trying to add. If you're trying to add, I have confidence in adding working because of what they've done these last, 3 games without Crosby. Like, clearly the dynamic is different right now.
They just play such a good team game.
They do. So you need to find, I mean, if you add, that person's going to have to fit in and play the team game, but also bring their flavor to this team, and I think that it will work. Now, if you take away and subtract from this team, I'm not a big fan of that because of how they've been playing so well together.
There are a couple of guys that, like, I don't think we're going to see any players traded for draft picks or anything like that. I think coming into the year, Dubas was probably thinking, hey, if Brazeau has a nice year, we'll flip him at the deadline, we'll get a young player, we'll get a draft pick. If Mantha plays well, we'll get a young player, we'll get a draft pick. You're not going to move either of those guys in a deal like that. And I think Mantha's going to stick around because, my God, he's having a great season. And Brazeau, relative to his previous performances, he's also having a great year. I could see a Brazeau going in a hockey trade. And I don't think this guy's going to get moved because Dallas is too good. But if Robertson was available, they would want a first-round pick, a prospect, and a player. And I wonder if a guy like Brazeau could go.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're looking more for a guy with term, I would have no qualms. If there's one player I would trade off this roster, it'd be Rickard Rakell.
Mm-hmm.
His career is so weird. Starting in 2019, 2020, he goes good season, bad season, good season, bad season. 2019, 15 goals, 42 points. Next year, 9 goals, 28 points. Next year, 20 goals, then 28, then 15, then 35. Now this year, 11. He's only played in 38 games. Obviously, he had the injury, and now he's missed casts. He's a fish out of water. They have him playing center, which I just don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's had an impact these last few games. He hasn't been good in face-off. I just haven't loved his role at center. And before that, I didn't think he was playing this year like a top-line player. If a team was going to give up a big-time top-6 player and wanted something in return and you need to clear a spot for that, I would be okay with trading a Rickard Rakell in a hockey move.
Yep.
He's 32. The cap hit's not bad, especially for a guy that if he were healthy all year, he would score in the 20 range. Like, I don't dislike Rakell, but I think you could live with moving him, if that makes sense. Where do Penguins fans come down on the deadline? 412-928-9370. And are you worried about messing up the dynamic at all? Because I do think these Penguins, if Mike Sullivan were the coach, this is not a playoff team. The way they have bought into Dan Muse's system, the way they are playing team defense, we haven't seen since 16, 17, and 18.
Yep.
Like, they are playing better than the sum of their parts. And that's not to say that Crosby didn't have a big deal, a big say in how they played, or Malkin, or Letang, or Carlson. But the strength of the pack is the pack. And they back check. They block a lot of shots. They have a great penalty kill. They have a great power play. Every team element, they're good at.
Mm-hmm.
They are finally, and Sullivan asked for this for a long time, they are finally hard to play against.
Yes.
And I think it's because of the system, not necessarily because they've been infused with a whole bunch of stars or anything like that.